Hi, this is TJ with the 7 Summits Trader. We're watching a live trade of the Euro USD 5-minute chart with the SSTFX. This is during the Asian session. I usually don't like trading this time of day. I prefer to trade during the New York session or even the European session. I prefer to trade during the times when the markets are the most active. But with all the turmoil taking place in the Middle East, the markets are just trading 24/7 right now, and there's great trades to be had even during the Asian session, which I find to be usually pretty slow and inconsistent. While we're watching this trade unfold, let me talk you through it a little bit. Earlier there was this setup here, small trade, went to full target. It was only a 10-pip trade. Got 8 pips after spread. The trailing stop came up and then came down, stopped out. All in all, 21 pips. Was able to re-enter here, and now you could see that the market is pushed past the second target. We're looking to get to this third target. When the bar closes, we're going to see the trailing stop begin to move higher up. It's already pushed us to a break-even position. So let's watch this for a little while. In the meantime, let me take this opportunity to tell you my story. Well, there it goes, hitting full target right there. Just to give you an idea of this trade, let's take a look at the data window over here. The re-entry here was at 36.84 and our full target was at 37.03. 19 pips on that trade minus a couple pips of spread. So that's a 17 pip move. Meanwhile, we're going to trail the rest of our position. You can see the trailing stop's already moved up. When we were talking a moment ago, the stop was here, then this bar closed, and look how the stop moved up at the close of that bar. So our trailing stop, we're just going to let it run, and we could rest assured that we're in a risk-free position. So a little bit about myself. I started trading way back in the early 90s. I used to wait for paper charts to arrive in my mailbox every week, and then I would fill those charts in by hand with end-of-day price data from the Wall Street Journal. Back in those days, I shorted the pound against the dollar, trading futures at the time, and I did really well on that particular trade. And from there I traveled quite a bit playing music through Europe. I met a friend from Venezuela and I went to visit him the following year where I met my wife. And you might say that's the best trade I've ever made. But I was hooked on trading and I've been trading ever since. I learned a lot, but I was also missing a lot. Several years ago I discovered NetPicks, and one of the main things that caught my attention was how they were approaching their trading with very specific trade plans. Entries, targets, and stops, nothing left for guessing. As many of you probably know, the most artsy part of trading is knowing how to exit a trade, and I often found that I was exiting too soon or not soon enough in the case of some losing trades, and I really didn't have any structure to my trading. Well, a few years passed. One day I received a phone call, and it was Brian, one of the owners of NetPicks, and he asked me if I wanted to join the team as a coach. That was several years ago. And of course I accepted. It sounded like an amazing thing to do. And soon after I was hosting a live trade room, and I've been calling live trades in the NetPicks trade room now ever since, nearly 3 years. During those days I had some colleagues, friends of mine that were also NetPicks customers. We used to collaborate a lot. A good friend of mine, Will Feibel, and Mike Rixey, both of whom were soon invited in as coaches as well. Ron Wieland, of course. Many of you may have dealt with him already, but he is also a coach, and Shane Daly. Bob Malinowski and Keith McKenzie, also coaches from NetPicks, were members as well. In fact, we've all been members, customers who have since become coaches. So for us, trading's very serious. We trade every single day. We deal with lots of traders, as you can imagine. One thing I want to point out is that when you're dealing with anybody from NetPicks, from ownership all the way down the line, you're dealing with traders. We're not just customer service people that were hired to handle telephones. We're actual traders. We've been in the same seat that you're in now. We know what it's like to struggle in the markets day in and day out, and we've discovered a certain degree of success because we've been able to structure our trading and reduce it to a business. Each one of us treats trading as a business. We're serious about it. We're not in the fray, fretting every trade as it unfolds. To me, that's just a recipe for disaster. The way to succeed in trading is to treat your trading as a business and to be the facilitator of your trade plan, the operator of your trade business. For me, that was the key to learning how to become detached and to not let myself become emotionally involved with the trade that I'm in. Imagine if I didn't have a system like I'm showing you here where the trade prints right on the chart, entries, targets, trailing stops. After a move like this, would I be pulling the plug? I mean, I could tell you in the past, after making a nice move to the upside, I'd be kind of wondering, gee, what should I do? Where should I pull the plug? How do I know when to escape this trade? But now, I don't even have to think about it. I know when I get to my full target, I'm taking off part of my position, and the rest of it, I'm just going to let my system trail. Since I've been talking to you, the trailing stop has moved from here to here to here. Who knows how far this trade will go? It's just another trade, one trade out of countless trades. When I talk to traders every day, this is a perspective that I'm taking, and I'm helping them realize that they need to lift themselves up to a higher level and look at each trade individually as just a separate business transaction. Handle that transaction using best business practices. So whenever you deal with anybody from NetPicks, you can count on dealing with traders. Traders first. We've all been where you're at. We've all taken our hard knocks. We know what it's like to struggle as a trader. We know what it's like to actually turn the corner and change from becoming a struggling trader to a successful trader. As a company, it is our mission to help as many traders as possible become successful. And it all begins with a really great trade system. The team behind the SSTFX is part of what makes up the 7 summits. We call it Total Immersion Training. So you could feel rest assured that when you're talking to someone from NetPicks, you're talking to someone who's a trader who understands where you're coming from, what you're struggling with, and the SSTFX, how it works, and how we can help you learn it nuts to bolts. Let's go ahead and watch the rest of this trade and see how it unfolds. While we watch this trade unfold, let me show you who we are. You can find us right on the NetPicks website. There I am, Troy Noonan, also known as TJ. I talked to you about Mike Rixey. Mike Rixey is our resident option professional. I've learned so much from Mike, and now one of the main parts of my swing trading is actually made up of what I've learned from Mike, trading options against some of our stock trades. Will Feibel, also one of my collaborators, amazing trader. Shane Daly. You're going to want to pay attention to Shane's posts. Shane specializes in Forex specifically, and when you apply some of his ideas to the SSTFX, you're going to learn so much more. Bob Malinowski, another fine trader. He's been in my trade room for many years, and now he's a coach. And Keith McKenzie, also an excellent trader. So there's a few pictures of some of the NetPicks coaches, and it looks like our trade just came down and stopped us out. 36.93, not a bad trade. And in just 2 brief trades this afternoon and early evening, I was able to pick up an additional 46 pips with the Euro USD while recording this video. Anyway, now you know who we are. We're traders just like you. Really excited about our release coming up in a couple days. Please register. You're not going to want to miss our demonstration of the SSTFX. We're going to look at a lot more examples and show you how you can get involved with the 7 Summits Trader Forex trading system. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This is TJ with NetPicks.com. See you next time.